Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. You see me with my Beau's hat on. Well, not hat, my bandana. My Beau's bandana that was given to me as a we're sorry for making your last Greener Futures project box a month old. Today we are drinking a beer from that Greener Futures project club box. That club box was the June club box. It was sent to me near the middle of July from phase 3 of the Greener Futures project. This is facilitated by the guys at the brew box. You also got a pewter bottle opener, keychain bottle opener for your keychain. Anyway, this is the Big Sleepy, which here says it's a barrel-aged matte sleepy time Belgian Imperial Stout. But that's not 100% true. Whatever. It's 8.6% alcohol. And the reason I say it's not 100% true is because it's just like a lot of these beers in the Greener Futures project lately. It's like they ran out of ideas and they just started blending everything. And this is a blend of everything in general. I mean, it would have been nice to have gotten a package that was just all these. Like, we have here a whiskey barrel-aged matte sleepy time for 5 months, a red wine barrel-aged matte sleepy time for 5 months, a white wine barrel-aged matte sleepy time for 5 months, a rum barrel-aged matte sleepy time for 5 months, and then just for shits and giggles, a bourbon barrel-aged lug tread thrown in here that was in there for 9 months. So why did you have to throw the lug tread in? Like, what good did the lug tread do? Was it just you had a fucking bourbon barrel-aged lug tread? And you know what? Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. You know, that's the Steve and Jen, I love you both, but right now, fuck you. Because you could have sent the best package ever, which would have been a whiskey barrel-aged matte sleepy time, a red wine barrel-aged matte sleepy time, a white wine barrel-aged matte sleepy time, and a rum barrel-aged matte sleepy time. I would have loved to have gotten a package that had a fucking sleepy time in all the different barrels to see what each barrel did to it. And you could have sent me a fucking bourbon barrel-aged lug tread. I would have loved to have tried that as well. Just to know. Especially since, it was something very simple. It was a fucking ESB that created the amazing Innocent Gun. So what would a Kolsch and a bourbon barrel for 9 months have done? I think it would have done really well. And you could have sent those five bottles, plus the Royal City bottle. And I would have been okay with the $80 price tag with just those 5 bottles and the Royal City. Like, that's something that could have been sent. Instead, I get this, which is all of them blended together, which is probably going to be a mishmash of flavors that don't work together. And that's why I'm angry, because you had them all. You had them all. And you obviously had enough to make a whole bunch of bottles of this stuff, so you could have made a whole bunch of bottles of this stuff and just sent them out. Oh, I'm agitated at that. Fucking... Ugh. Fuck. Fuck. This isn't even me over-exaggerating for the camera. This is me actually angry now that I've read that. I could have had one of the best tasting experiences of my life. And I don't even like matte sleepy time Belgian Stout. But all of those barrels together would have made for something splendid. Spectacular, even. But instead, we have to mix them all together and fuck with the taste of everything. None of these blends come out all that great. I mean, all we hope for is a 6 or a 7 out of these blends. But when you send me stuff that is just a 1 barrel, fuck, it's usually great. I mean, one of my favorite beers from the brewery is the barrel-aged Screaming Beaver, which was from phase 1 of the Greener Futures. I believe it was the first or second month of the Greener Futures. And that was a fucking splendid beer. It was like a 9.75 out of 10. And you know why it was? Because it was a really good beer aged for the proper amount of time in some really nice barrels. It wasn't, hey, let's mix a whole bunch of beers together and hope for the best. I just don't get it. Beautiful black color, beautiful tan head. Little snap, crackle, pop. Just everything. Everything. And everything in the kitchen sink. a tart grape scent, a tart grape scent, a sweet fruity scent, a fucking vanilla scent, a whole bunch of wood, a whole bunch of dryness, a big yeast note. It's just all over the place. It is. It's not right. Cheers. Instead of seeing what each thing does, we just throw them all together so you don't know that one of them fucking sucked. It's all barrel. You wouldn't know there's a stout in there. You wouldn't know there's a Kolsch in there. It's all barrel. And I love barrels, but it's all barrels. Lots of vanilla. Lots of char. Little tartness. Little fruitiness. Almost like a fig. Vanilla, caramel, char, fig, tart, dry, woody. Almost leaves that taste in your mouth like you just had a throat depressor on your tongue. That just very woody flavor. There's just too many different barrels. This is coming from a guy that does legitimately love the brewery and legitimately loves getting these club beers to try. But at the same time, once you read the side of this and see what they had available, and that all they did was throw them all together into a fucking batch and bottle it, it makes me sad. And maybe the argument is, oh, we only had a few barrels of each, so we had to throw them all together and make a big batch. Okay. So you threw them all together to make enough bottles to send to everybody. Well, then, some people could have gotten the wine barrels. Some people could have gotten the whiskey and rum barrels. It's just been a saddening night. Between these guys and the other brewery I reviewed a bunch of beers from another brewery. It's just been a sad night. It's a good thing that I started the night off with a Beau's Buenos Dias Gruit, because that was the best beer of the entire night. This isn't a bad beer. It's not bad. It's just saddening. That's what it comes down to. It just makes me unhappy. And it makes me unhappy because of the fact that I know I could have had something awesome. And I know when I pick up these bottles with this huge list that it's not going to be that great. And I mean, don't get me wrong, blending works. I mean, some of my favorite beers from Firestone Walker are big blends. But Firestone Walker makes some amazing barrel-aged beers to begin with. That are beers that are meant for the barrel and then aged in the barrel. And then blended with other beers that were meant for a barrel and aged in a barrel. Not just, hey, we made this Belgian stout. Let's throw it in a bunch of different barrels and see what happens. Because that's what this is. Let's see what happens. And then, you know what this needs? This needs a bourbon Kolsch. There's not enough flavors in there. Let's throw in a bourbon Kolsch. Like, there's no chocolate from the stout. There's no roasted caramel from the stout. It's all char. There's no grassiness from the Kolsch. It's all overtaken. And that's perfectly fine. But just, like, 6 or 7 different barrel flavors from different barrels is a little too much. And I don't get anything from the rum barrel. The whiskey and the bourbon are big time on this. And then secondary is the wines, and I don't get anything from the rum barrel. All in all, I sound very sad. But it's a drinkable beer. I mean, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. I would probably buy it. But I'm just so disappointed in it at the same time. Excuse me. Let's pour the rest in the glass. And we'll go watch American Dad while drinking it. Thank you, YouTube. Au revoir. A bientôt. See you soon.